Good. It's 3:56. So I'm just logging in from my phone because that computer is doesn't have any of my information saved. So I just want to do this quickly. She's not in yet. Not yet. Nobody's in yet. You're here. This one was supposed to be a heavy first session.
Hello.
All right. So we're so glad to have you here. I welcome you and your ancestors with the most love and respect. We always start the workshops by giving honor and reverence to our home temples and our teachers that come before us. So I give great honor and reverence to our temple in Benin, where we get all of the traditional knowledge and where we get our spiritual covering from. I give great honor to our great matriarch, Naye Bujitao Arimaso II, who is the International Director of Naziafa Spiritual Institute, as well as my own spiritual mother, Mianu Ananasi, who is the Director of Naziafa Spiritual Institute here in North America. So since you're both new, some of the things that we tell people of how they can get the most out of these workshops is by doing what you're doing, having your mics on mute. It is a very interactive workshop though. So once you have been acknowledged, unmuting yourself, and the workshop will be about 2 hours. So having some water with you and also having a notebook because the information is very potent. And so it is great to have a notebook to refer back to throughout the week to do some of the exercises that we have. And I am a Kwavi I am a full-time Naziafa Spiritual Institute adept. And I started my journey, my spiritual journey, about 3 or 4 years ago. And I started with learning different healing modalities like Reiki energy healing and EFT and breath work because I acknowledged that I had a lot of tension in my body and I had a lot of confusion. And so as I was working through those healing modalities, I began searching for who I truly was, which led me to my ancestors and traditions. And that is what led me to being a full-time adept and really getting the knowledge and foundation I needed to work in my purpose. And so I had the great honor of being able to go to Africa, to our temples in Benin, and I initiated and took the hand of Fa, where I received my life purpose. And part of that is what I'm doing here today, with being able to help teach you all different healing techniques and principles that will help you to have a stronger spiritual connection. And so I will begin the workshop with the breathwork portion, and then we will move into ancestral veneration with Abla, and then we will hear from Mianu, some really great potent knowledge. So, Nicole, where are you coming from?
Norfolk, Virginia.
Nice. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Are you familiar with breathwork?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's good to hear. Deidre, where are you coming from?
Richmond, Virginia.
Okay, so we have East Coast folks. I'm here on the West Coast in San Diego. This is where our temple is here in the United States. So it's good to see you. Harlem, welcome.
Hi.
So we are going to begin with the breathwork portion, and then we're going to move into ancestral veneration, and then we'll move into hearing from Mianu. Hello, Helena. It's good to see you again. So to begin, we are both physical and spiritual beings. Um, we have the non-physical and the physical side of us. And we see this in nature, that there is always balance and harmony. So within us, we have those same systems. And our nervous system is the system that connects both our non-physical with our physical. Right. So Helena has been here many weeks. And so do you want to share what the two parts of the nervous system are, the two major parts?
Sure. So the two major parts, you have your sympathetic, which is known as kind of like the action, fight or flight. And then you have your parasympathetic, which is your rest and digest, which kind of slows things down, brings you back after you've had that moment.
Yes, yes, exactly. And so a lot of times in our current society, our sympathetic or activating system is always activated. And it being overactivated, we know that anything that is overused or overworked becomes destructive, right? So we see a lot of people who have a lot of physical challenges like asthma and obesity, anxiety, depression, accelerated aging, um, even Alzheimer's has been contributed to having an overactive sympathetic system. So one of the things that's important is to be able to identify when our sympathetic system is activated. So does anybody want to share how they know that they're starting to feel overactivated?
So I think for a lot of people, I'll speak for myself on this one. The shoulders kind of tense up a little bit. You might grit the teeth a little.
Yeah,
Heart rate goes up. I lose
definitely.
my appetite if I'm really just that stressed out. It's one where there's no eating.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, I completely agree with that. Harlem?
Um, you guys can see me and hear me clearly? Just want to make
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
Okay. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, I started to feel extremely overwhelmed. And I know that I'm getting overactive when this sounds disgusting, but I can't eat and my body starts to release itself.
Mm.
I need to stay close to a bathroom. I'm vomiting, nervous energy, crying. So stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah. No, I hear you. Like your body is designed to survive. And so when it's starting to receive too much, it tries to get rid of it and it redirects its energy to be healing. Your body
Yeah.
always what's going on. It's just important that we start to know what the information and the signs mean so that we can be proactive and getting our bodies the things that we need, right? Like
Right.
we've just been talking about our physical bodies and our physical selves and not even anybody or anything else around us, right? And everybody on the call has identified themselves as healers. And so we know we need to be strong to be able to help others. Yeah. Nicole or Deidre, do you want to share some signs that you know that you're feeling overactivated?
Also, um, when I feel really overactivated, I can feel my energy shift kind of like I'm angry, like internally angry, but I'm not necessarily able to process why.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hear that. They say that we have the most common are like fight or flight or uh, freeze, but there's also um, fawning. And there's, yeah, so fight or flight, freeze, or fawn. And so sometimes when we're overwhelmed, our body and our brain just shuts down so that we aren't feeling too much pain. And so um, I'm glad that you're here so you can start using some of these techniques to be able to slow down your mind and let your body know that you are safe so that you can start working through some of those things.
Great. Thank you.
Of course.
Yes.
All right, Deidre, how do you know when you're feeling overstimulated or overactive?
I usually like to be alone,
Mm,
and I feel a lot of tension, like in
Mm.
my shoulder areas, and also not eating. That's the major thing, like not eating. So yeah, that's it.
yeah, the not eating is a major one. I hear that come up a lot. And you'll learn later um, that there is a spiritual connection with not eating. And so it's so interesting once we start going down this path and we find out things that we've always grown up with, things we've heard our elders say, or things that we experience. And then you start learning about traditions and traditional knowledge. And you're like, oh, wow, that's why I do this thing. That's why my family does this thing. Um, so you're always moving towards evolution and evolving. And so when you start getting like louder messages, that's a strong indication that you really, really need to move, right? Like ancestors start as a whisper and then the storm comes in. Um, and so we're really good at knowing what not like what we don't like or when we're in danger. Um, but sometimes, yes, definitely yells in an enclosed small space. So they really reverberate. You really feel it. Because we're always supposed to be evolving. So we we move from being overactivated and we're identifying what is going wrong. And but then there's also the things that relax us, right? We have that balance. And so that's where the parasympathetic system comes in. And the parasympathetic system is meant to bring our body back in harmony, back in a restored state. And just like there are things or people or situations that trigger and activate us, there are also the same thing on the healing side. So, what are some things that you currently know that helped you to calm down?
I'll respond to that. Um, what I'm doing right now for the past couple of weeks, maybe a little extreme, but I needed it. I moved into an empty room next door in my house, and I pretty much isolated myself in here for the past week and a half.
Mm.
I couldn't eat, so I've just been doing tea and water and maybe some fruit, and I've just been silent. I haven't really spoken to anyone in the house, and I know they're angry at me because they don't understand. But I can't heal them while I'm healing me, so I don't care right now.
Mm.
And I've just been taking care of myself. You know, I've been in this room and I've been listening to relaxing music and I've been getting sleep and I've been lighting my candles and tending to my altar and taking my supplements, you know.
Mhm.
Just it helps that I'm alone, that I kind of shroud myself in this sense of security that I don't feel like I'm getting anywhere else.
I'm glad that you have identified things that you need to bring yourself in balance, and I'm very excited for the techniques that we're about to go into, because the beautiful thing about breath work is that you always have your breath with you.
Mm.
And so you can use your breath to activate your parasympathetic system. And so it allows you to continue to move through your day and interact with people while also keeping yourself regulated.
Okay.
And so there are 3 different techniques that we'll go over. And the techniques are very potent when you are in a heightened state. But where the real magic is when you start creating a practice and doing it regularly, you find that it helps you not to even react to the same situations in the same way, because your threshold is already lower.
Mm.
So you're not as on edge all the time, right?
Yeah, I
Because
need that.
as we are training and attuning our body to peace, we're able to find it more easily. Most of our lives, we've been trained and attuned to danger, and walking the healing path is being aligned with healing and the things that bring wholeness to situations for yourself and for others. And so the very first technique that we will work on is called belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing. And so this is using your diaphragm to breathe. Let's take a moment and just bring our awareness to our bodies and take a moment to notice how we're breathing. Notice if they're fast breaths or if they're shallow, if they're coming from your chest or from your stomach. A lot of times here in the West, we're not taught, unless you're like a trained singer, to breathe from our diaphragm. And so we aren't circulating the oxygen through our body fully and properly, because that's not necessarily the full function of the lungs. The diaphragm is a muscle that's at the base that is very powerful in moving the oxygen through our body. But just like any other muscle, if you're not using it, then it's pretty weak. And so uh, in the beginning, the exercise can be a little bit challenging sometimes or feel uncomfortable, but as you practice, you're strengthening that muscle so it becomes easier. Okay, and so what you want to do, it's easiest while laying down if you're not used to breathing from your diaphragm, because that position, it just naturally makes it easier. But basically, you just want to expand your stomach when you inhale. So inhale through your nose. And in the beginning, you might really have to push your stomach out and expand.
Mhm.
And then you are going to breathe through your exhale through your mouth and contract those stomach muscles and really push all of the air out. So, does anybody have any questions on that before we practice a few breaths? All right. Can I get some thumbs up that we are ready to practice the belly breathing?
I'm still learning how to do this, guys. Okay.
All right. Good. So let's inhale through our nose. put a light hand on your stomach so you can really track your stomach movements. Okay, in through your nose, out through your mouth. In through your nose, out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose. Out through your mouth. Again, in through your nose. Feel your hand rise as you take in air. Exhale through your mouth. Slowly, controlled, trying to make it an even exhale. One last time, in through your nose. And out through your mouth. Okay. Take a moment to check back in with your body and see how you're feeling. See how your thoughts are coming in, the physical sensations in your body. And these observations are things that you want to be taking down somewhere so you can have a record of how you're feeling before and after you do the technique. You want to start tracking what's working for you. Okay. The belly breaths are a really great thing to do as soon as you wake up and also when you go to bed because, like I mentioned, it's easiest to do while laying down. And before the day gets away from us, just starting with deep grounding breaths is a great way to be in a calm and controlled mindset. And so the second technique builds on the belly breathing, and it's called the extended exhale. And so when you exhale for longer than you're inhaling, you naturally activate your diaphragm. And so sometimes when people have a hard time with just doing the mechanics of the belly breathing, having the counting can help them to be able to focus and train their body and their muscles. So for this exercise, we'll inhale for 2 counts, and then we'll have a brief pause for about 1 count, and then we will exhale for 4 counts. Okay. So inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Last time, inhale, 2, hold, 3, exhale, 5, 6, 7, 8. Take a moment and return back to your regular breathing. write down any changes or shifts that you're noticing. And so this last exercise is all done through the nostrils. It's called alternate nostril breathing, and it's very helpful with clearing your mind, with syncing your left and right brain. And so this one, you do it with using your thumb and your index finger, or whichever finger feels comfortable, but you're going to need 2 fingers on the same hand. And you are going to close one nostril and inhale through the open nostril. And you want to inhale until you can't take in any more breath. And then you're going to switch and close the other nostril and exhale through the newly open nostril. And you exhale until you have no more air in your body. And then you inhale through that same nostril and you switch. And so that's the pattern.
Okay.
And so this one is really potent. It can be a little difficult to do if you're a little stuffed up, but that's a great indication to get your immune system up. And the temple has some really great herbs that help with your immune system. So if you are experiencing anything, definitely reach out or go on the website to see some of the different healing tools that we have. Okay. So let's go ahead and do this exercise. Did anybody have any questions on how it's done before we get started? No? All right. Let's go ahead. Inhale through your nose. And switch. Exhale. Inhale. And switch. Exhale. So Harlem, it's easiest to do. No, you're fine. You're fine to do it with one hand because it's kind of like driving with 2 feet, right? It can be a little disjointed and your body doing too much and not able to fully sync. So if you take 2 fingers on your same hand, I've found that the thumb and the index work the best, but just plugging one side like this. Yep, exactly. And then inhaling through that open side, and then you switch to the other one. So like pinch it, just like that. Good.
Okay, I got you.
So let's begin.
Allergy season, excuse me.
No, I completely understand. And it's always good to listen to your own body, and listen to where you're at. And if you can't do it right now, definitely listen to that. But at least knowing how the technique is done, you can implement it when your body's ready. Okay? Well, let's
Okay.
just do a couple more rounds of breathing like this. Inhale through your nose. And switch, exhale. Again, switch and inhale. And switch, exhale. Inhale. And switch, exhale. Inhale. And switch, exhale. All right, last time, inhale. And switch, exhale. And return back to your regular breathing pattern. Write down any observations. A lot of times we don't just breathe through our nose, so note down any like different sensations you notice. If it's easier to inhale through one nostril or the other, you're getting to know your body and you're getting to know what works for you. Okay, so all of these exercises are really great to do at different times. I've found the extended exhale to be really helpful when I'm in a situation and I feel like I'm receiving a lot of negativity or hard information. To do an extended exhale as I'm receiving the information helps to ground me in that moment. And then having a good inhale after releasing all of that carbon dioxide, because when we're not fully exhaling, all of that is building up in our body. And there's no possible way for our brain to function properly and for us to utilize the higher parts of our brain that connects us with our higher self if our body is full of like toxins, right?
Right.
So when you find yourself in these situations, it's important that you start to get yourself some good air and you'll be able to start hearing more clearly from your ancestors. And so as you develop a practice, you will have a stronger connection.
Mm.
Okay, so we are drawing towards the end of my section. If you come next week, we will go deeper into building your sustainable practice. But the way that we always end the breath work is with affirmations. And so this week, on the inhale, the affirmation is, I'm exactly where I need to be. And on the exhale, I release all unaligned expectations. Okay, so we will just do some belly breaths with that for 2 minutes, and then we will move into the next section. Okay, so let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right. Inhale through your nose. I'm exactly where I need to be. Exhale. I release all unaligned expectations. Inhale. I'm exactly where I need to be. Exhale. I release all unaligned expectations. Inhale. I am exactly where I need to be. Exhale. I release all unaligned expectations. I am exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. I'm exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. I'm exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. I'm exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. I am exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. Last breath. I'm exactly where I need to be. I release all unaligned expectations. Take these words with you this week. Take this feeling that you've cultivated with your breath with you this week. You have everything that you need. You are always provided for and taken care of. Your ancestors are always with you, always guiding you. Okay? So we would love to stay connected with you all. So if you aren't in the Divine Feminine WhatsApp chat that we have, let us know, put it in the chat so we can get you that link. It is an amazing community of women, and we support each other and give each other different tips and promote our like businesses, and we just are really building the community and network that we desire to see.
Okay, thank you.
So actually the best way to get into the chat is to put your number in the chat. Okay, perfect. So we are moving into the next portion of the workshop, which is on ancestral veneration, and it is led by my big sister in the temple, Abla. She is an incredible woman who balances all of the different roles and responsibilities that she has, from being a mother and a wife, her being a spiritual student and her career. She manages to keep all of them running. And so she has a really great perspective and way of making very big things practical. And so I'm excited for this next section for you to be able to learn more about connecting with your ancestors and how you can do it on a deep and impactful level. So I give the floor to Abla.
Alafia, Alafia. Greetings, everyone. Greetings from Benin this time. I hope everyone is well. Thank you, Akwabi, for the beautiful introduction. My name again is Abla, and I will be your workshop leader for the ancestral veneration portion of this course. Um, First, I want to take some time to give honor to my ancestors, those who have come before me, and all of the energies that are with me that help me reach my destiny in this lifetime. I also want to give great honor and appreciation for Mianu, who is my spiritual mother. We all know her as Priestess Hanera. She is a Mamiwata priestess. She is a businesswoman. She is a lot of things. And so we definitely look up to her and thank her for sharing the knowledge and teaching us. And we also give great honor to Mino Naye Bujitao Enimaso II, who is the great matriarch over Nazia Fa here in Benin. We give honor to the temples here who keep all of the traditions and the knowledge and allow us to have a place to return to. So I want to first take time for that. This course actually will be the Ancestral Veneration Part 2. So if you missed Part 1, we're going to have something for you, but this will be Part 2. And so in this first section, I want to quickly recap what we talked about and ancestral veneration in the first part. And so I think Helena may be the only one that is a repeat. So I'm going to lean on you to help educate your sisters here, okay? All right, so what did we define? What was the definition that we had for ancestral veneration?
So for ancestral veneration, that's so we exalt, revere, hold up in high esteem and respect our family members who transition to the other side.
That's right. That's right. We had a lot of discussion about about that, but we want to make sure you have the correct definition for what ancestral veneration is, to dispel all of the extra stigmas and negative connotations that are out there. But yes, we are revering, we're honoring, we're uplifting, we're respecting our ancestors, those who have family members who have passed on. Okay. And I hope everybody is writing this down, because we definitely want to gain traction here and understanding. So if you come back, we'll be quizzing you again. How about Helena? What were some of the ways that we can venerate our ancestors?
One of the biggest ones is keeping their stories alive, sharing them with your, your little ones who, family members, making food for them, calling out their names, calling out their positions, continuing their work. If they were a healer, you picking up being a healer makes it just as potent, kind of concentrates it more. Yeah, pictures of them on your altar.
Okay, so whoever is new, please write these down. These are very important ways that we can practically and consistently venerate our ancestors outside of the commonly known but uncommonly known ancestral altar. Okay, so Helena, could you run through slowly so they can write down?
All right, so the first of those would be, hold on one sec, I'm getting blinded by some sunlight here. So you can call out their positions. You can wear white.
What would be their position? What
So
does that
things
mean?
like
Call out
great
the
aunt,
position.
great great uncle, grandma, grandpa. So if you were adopted and you don't know them, you can say, "Hey, great aunt on my mother's side,
Mhm.
be with me," Or you could wear white to draw on that ancestral energy. Give
Okay.
them offerings. Pictures of them on your altar. I know I have lots of those on mine.
Me too.
Yes, cooking the food that they like.
Mm.
Continuing their work. And I mean, I think those are the big ones, yeah.
Those were the big ones. Those were the big ones. Telling stories of how they live their lives. Okay. So those are the big ones. Pouring libation, water, right? Water, starting with water. Those were some of the big ones. So good, good. Okay. So moving on into going into part two, Helena, there were a couple of pieces of homework that we had from the first couple of classes. One of the homeworks were to start your family tree. Has anybody started their family tree here on this call? Started to build it out?
So I've had some building, and I think I shared in the chat how I kind of had a moment where I had to break away from some family, but in that same day, my half sister that we've just recently connected. I actually spent part of last Monday just sharing stories with her, kind of helping her build out, because she's done all the research on ancestry, but you can only get so much from paper. And getting like firsthand accounts from somebody. Honestly, like we felt like our mom was in the room with us on both sides of the call. So it was
That's powerful. That's powerful.
sharing those days. Yeah, we cried. We're both crying over the phone. It was good.
That's good.
I don't know if that helps answer it, but yeah.
No, I mean that's key, is going and finding those stories, finding those connections. It's more powerful than finding a census record. So Helena, in building your family tree, I want to first, well, let me backtrack. Just for accountabilities, can we see your journal? The
Hold
journal
on
that you're, yeah.
Oh, it's on
I see
on my
yours,
screen.
Harlem.
I do mine digitally just because I gotta save I can't I have hand issues, so I'll do a screen share quick.
You're on the screen. All right, go ahead, do it if you can do it.
All right, let me. It says host disabled participant screen sharing on here,
Ah,
but
okay,
I have it on a
okay,
Word doc just because I can type faster than I can write.
okay,
Oh,
okay. Well, okay, that's fine, that's fine. Anybody else, is everybody having a journal? They're writing these things down?
yeah.
Nicole, Deidre?
I wrote it down, but I've been doing ancestor veneration for like 2, 3 years. So for the
Mhm.
most part, no.
No, okay. And Deidre?
Yes, I'm writing it down, but I recently did an ancestry test, so I know about my mother's side already, but I just found out about a different dad side. So yeah, I'm writing it all down.
Okay, okay, very good. Okay, well, Helena, since you have had some time, we want to see your family tree. We want to see how you built it out.
All right, it's all in the Word document that can I share it yet
It's
or
all,
no?
okay, let me see.
If
Hold on,
not, I can just draw it up for next week. It's one where I've gotten back to my great grandmother's side of my mom's side and my
Mhm.
grandmother's on my dad's side, just because I'm still waiting on some stuff from Mexico to come up.
Okay, well, present what you have.
Mm.
Do it verbally.
Okay. Oh, okay. I can do this. Yes.
Yeah.
So if we go from my immediate family, so we have my half sister that I just met up with in the past. We just connected in the past year or so. My older brother, myself, my younger brother who recently transitioned in 2015. He's on the ancestral side now. We go back to my parents. We have both of them on the ancestral side. My father's from Mexico. My mother she was born in the US to a Russian Jewish father and a Polish grandmother, which back in old Chicago, that was a no-no. But oh, if you only, yeah, we won't go there with that part. But so we go back on my dad's side. I have 9 siblings, or not 9 siblings. He has 9 siblings, and he is the third youngest. We had a lot
Mhm.
of great older sisters and brothers who took care of him. And my tia Carita, they were freaking frack. They got into all the thick of things. And when I hung out with her, I could see why. And when I went to Mexico, I could see exactly why they got along so well. So I'm basically my dad's copy in feminine
Ah,
form. So it makes a lot of sense.
very nice.
We go back from all of them, because there's 9 of those, to my grandmother, who is mestiza, or mixed native and Spaniard, but more native. I'm still trying to figure out which tribe affiliation she has. And then my grandfather is actually Spaniard. So I actually know exactly where in Mexico he came from. It's eastern Spain, a little city called Corral de Almaguer. So it actually has my
Mm.
family name in it. And then it gets a little bit blurry from there because the church records kind of dried up at that point. And then on my
Okay.
oh no, that is my dad's side. And my mom's side is basically the same story, lots of siblings, and then some interesting moments on that side of the family. I
Oh
think with
yeah.
that I could actually see generational traumas play out. So
Interesting. Okay. I'm interested to hear what you can say, right? What do you see the generational trauma? Because in the first course, we addressed that traditionally the way we address generational trauma is how?
by healing them, or
Through
calling out the
ancestral, yeah. Through ancestral veneration is the traditional way we address our generational trauma. So in going through your family tree, you have identified some trauma points, right? This is key. Okay. So I think you're getting the good point of the exercise as well. Okay, so on your mother's side, on your father's side, you've gone all the way to your grandfather, and on your mother's side, you've also gone to your grandparents, right? Side,
it's my
and then
great
all the
grandmother.
cousins.
Yeah.
Great, great. Okay, great grandmothers. Okay, very good. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for venerating your ancestors in this call. anyone else have built out their family tree and can present something today?
I would like to say something. It's not necessarily I built my family tree, but I'm a child of adoption.
Mm-hmm.
And so last year, I did ancestry a couple of years ago, but last year I was able to connect to my biological father. And then
Wonderful.
this year, in August, I actually finally was able to find my biological mother. So I'm working on the trees, but I actually use my adopted line when I do a lot of my ancestral renovations.
Okay, okay. Well, that's a question that I definitely want to say for Miano, like what is the significance of adopted families? But it seems that in your work, you're working your way to connecting to your bloodline source, right? Because we talk a lot about as heal the healers, we receive a lot of our bloodline traits, gifts, and abilities, our ways of healing through our bloodline. Environment, people, others influence, they can influence us, but your bloodline traits are where your power source is. And so congratulations on finding your mother and your father. And it seems that your journey to within your bloodline begins. And so I encourage you to continue to push to find more. Even simply a name sometimes is a key to unlock a whole host of ancestors that are there, right? They're there, as Helena says. You're calling on, now you know your mother, you have grandmother, grandfather, calling on those positions. Being adopted is a great way to connect to your source and connect to your ancestors and heal, right? So thank you for sharing that. Deidre, do you have a family tree already built?
Yes. So I don't have it in front of me, but I started building a family tree after I took the ancestry DNA test, and I found out I have a whole different dad than who I grew up with. So I know about his side of the family, but I don't know him at all. So I know like his grandmother but I don't know who his mother. It's a mess. But on my mother's side, I know a lot about her family, like their names and all of that stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Good.
but I know that my family has been in Virginia since like the 1700s. So we've been here for a while, forever. So yeah.
Okay. Okay. And do you know the names as you've done your, yeah.
So I know more. I don't know why, but I know more of the women names on my mother's side. So yeah. Um, Hannah, Sylvia, Francis, and Mary. So those are the most of the females that I can remember, like off the top of my head. That's their name.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And you did your DNA off of ancestry.com?
Yeah.
Okay. So you've been able to link to the census records that they have there, and build out your family tree, like literally on the ancestry.com.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that too. I didn't do my DNA test on Ancestry, but I did begin to build out that family tree, right, in Ancestry.com, which was really, really helpful. But building your family tree is a never ending story. It does not end, right? So
No.
as we get to stopping points, we then begin to push forward to find more information. Just to be accountable, I'll share some of my family tree. So starting with me, I have a younger sister. My parents, fortunately, they're still living. Gregory James McDonald and Tanya Lene Hackett. And then on my mother's side, it's my grandfather, Lori Lee Hackett. And then there's my grandmother, Lily Mae Hackett. Her maiden name was McDade. And so now we go to my split. Now we go to my grandmother's side, the McDade side. So we have Ishmael McDade, who is also nicknamed Papa Doc because he was a healer, medicine with herbs. And my grandmother, we used to call her Medea. Well, like I was there. My great grandmother called her Medea, but her name was Ludi Pearl Murphy. It took me some time to find her father because her father wasn't who we thought it was. But we found his name was Benjamin Murphy. And then we have later ancestors, Anna Jones, and an interesting name. I don't even know where it comes from, but I have a great grandfather named Balam Shah. I need to dig more, dig more to go back. On my grandfather's side, his father was Doc McDade. D. McDade. And then history kind of erases itself after that. And so I've been, digging into that. But my grandfather's mother passed away during his birth, and her name was Susie Whitebeard. So, yes, shortly after his birth, she passed. So Susie Whitebeard was her name. And then we go to my father's side, Gregory James McDonald, and his mother is still living, Minnie Mincy. And well, actually, that's his great grandmother, Minnie Mincy, but my grandmother is Mildred Mincy, and her mother is Minnie Mincy, who married Thomas Mincy. And his mother, my great grandmother, was named Nolie Scott, and they were in Florida. All of my family's from Alabama, actually. Like mother, father, all the way is from Alabama. So we're Bamas to the core. And then we have that's my father's mother's side. We have Julia Alsobrooks, who is my great grandmother. And then we have Hannah Alsobrooks, which was her mother, so great grandmother, and my great grandfather, who was actually, we have a picture of him. He was enslaved. He was free, but he was still working the plantation lands, and the owners, masters, let's say, took a picture. His name was Benjamin Alsobrooks. As you know, these last names are not ours, but this is what we found. What else? On my father's side, my grandfather was named James McDonald. His father's was named Nebraska McDonald. His father was named Joseph McDonald, who was married to Lenora Bradley, and her father was Ned Bradley, and he was married to Daisy Staton. And I smiled because she's so pretty. I just have like an affinity for her, and her name was Daisy. So Daisy Staton. And then I have a whole host of aunties. Like I have an Auntie Princetta, I have the Auntie Lou, Auntie Margaret, Auntie Ruth, Uncle Junior, Uncle Bubba. So I have a lot of aunties and uncles, which means I have a lot of cousins, right? But that's my family tree. And I think I've gotten back to the early 1800s. But I also got curious and mapped out my husband's family tree and got all the way back to the late 1700s in Louisiana. So even down to the plantation that they were at. So yeah. Just to give you an example of how far I want you guys to go and how far I still have to go, right? So just to give you an example of kind of the presentation style that I would love for you guys to come back with, because we're going to do this next week. And next week for your homework, I want you to present your family tree creatively, however you do so. Okay? No limits.
It might be a little difficult for me. I don't know. Does anyone have any advice on how to navigate if your family isn't is from another country. It may be difficult for me to get information from Haiti.
Mm.
Mm.
So
I mean, Helena, do you have any suggestion?
So
and
with
I'm sorry
that
to
one, I
share from my
mean,
family, by the way.
maybe church records. I mean, I don't know. That's one thing we're trying to dig into, like church records for my dad's side.
Church.
Yeah, like if I don't know if they went to any church down there, but sometimes they keep pretty decent like baptism or marriage records.
Okay. Okay. I think they did. I think they did.
Or
Is your
anything
family
municipal. I know it's
background Catholic?
tricky. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry. No, go ahead. Go ahead. I was just asking if your family background was Catholic coming from Haiti, or was it traditional, like a Vodou?
It was traditional.
Mm.
Okay, okay. Um, do you have, I know you said you're estranged from your family. Do you have one link? Or do you talk to anyone?
I do. I do. I have an uncle / cousin, meaning that
Mhm.
my grandfather came from Haiti and proceeded to he had families with more than one woman in my family on
Mhm,
my
it
mother.
happens.
Yeah. So I have all of my cousins are also my uncles and aunts. And I am in touch with a few of them. So
Mhm.
I'll see if I can seek them out and get some information.
Yeah, start with what you have. If you have that connection to your uncle and some of that family, start asking for stories, start asking for names, start having conversations, right? And getting that information and seeing where those breadcrumbs lead you. Yeah, because it wouldn't be a lot of information and records, and you need someone to walk you through those strings, because I did find also in my family that that's something that we did to keep us together, right? To keep us as a family. We would have, a man who married two sisters or had a big family. So this would
Yes.
keep the family together. So it
Yes.
wasn't so taboo or lewd or like he was just a player. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
No,
So,
it wasn't a secret. It wasn't a secret. My grandmother knew that he was with all of her cousins and sisters. It wasn't a secret. So
yeah. And the family is big for it, so it's a blessing. Yeah.
I wanted to say something really quick. I think somebody was saying they're finding their adopted family. And I know with my half sister, her finding me, because I guess sometimes I'm easy to like. I guess it was meant to be. We were meant to meet up. Yeah, she did it in her own pace. So do it at your own time if you want to reach out to them. Because I know at first, every time we've talked, we find little similarities. Where I think the first time we spoke, it's like, oh, you like Reiki? I like Reiki. Wow, you like amethyst? I love amethyst. It was one of those where it's like we're similar. We have similar isms with how we speak, and it's like, yeah, that's that scary moment of actually making contact and speaking with them. But man, when you do, I mean, it's just wild. Some of the similarities where I'm like, I would have never seen some of it coming, but
Mm-hmm.
it's been really just really enriching. I know for her and for me, just be able to make those connections and be like, wow, I do have an older sister. Wow, I've only heard about it. It was like this legend where it's like, hey, by the way, you got a half sister somewhere, and then actually meeting her, it's like, don't be afraid. Yeah.
Agreed. Okay. I also provided another homework. Helena, did you get that one with the pick a day? Okay. All right. So could
Pick a
you
day and do
explain that
nothing for
homework?
2 hours. So that day I
Yeah, so I
decided to
had a
double
pick a
feature.
day.
We doubled up. We did 2 hours of nothing in nature because I needed it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just nice to
Okay.
not have
Yeah.
a
So that.
phone with me, to not have anything digital. I was just like, you know what, me, a cup of broth because that's all I felt like having in me. And just being out and just around the green, having it kind of be able to ground, take my shoes off, and just have a moment.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. And what day did you choose?
I did Monday just because I know it's quieter in the park on those days, and that's one of my days off from school.
Uh, that's good. That's good. Okay. So also with ancestral veneration, having a sustainable practice is key, right? Um, you know, we work, we heal, but having a sustainable practice is how we draw the benefits and the values, and we build our relationship with our ancestors through consistency. And so I gave homework a couple of weeks ago to pick a day throughout the week and take 2 hours for yourself. In those 2 hours, to do one of three things: be silent. So that's no phones, no radio, no music, no talking. Okay. Or be outside in nature, or journal, read, develop your family tree. Okay. Um, and so that was the homework. Why do you think I gave that homework, Helena?
So I feel like it's this good kind of rest and reset. It gets you detached from, or it gets you connected with what matters and disconnected with what doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. How do you think it's related to ancestral veneration?
So I feel like with that, if there's too much, like we say, noise going on, if we're constantly like, oh my gosh, Instagram or holy moly, Facebook, our focus is elsewhere and we might not be able to hear those calls of the ancestors. And when we're in nature or when we're silent with our breath, you have more of an opportunity to connect because you have that stillness factor. You're not amped,
Mm-hmm.
you're not wound, you're present and just present. There's no other extra distractions to go with it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, that's good. And I'm gonna ask you, as you continue to do this, because this is the only two homeworks I'm gonna give, but as you continue to take those 2 hours and that time, I want to come back and I'm gonna ask again, why do you think and how does it relate to ancestral veneration? And it would be very interesting to see um, how you internalize and how it evolves, right? Your explanations. But that is a very good point on that. And I hope everyone was listening. Okay. Um, what else? What else? Okay, so everyone is clear on the homework.
Clear.
Can somebody repeat it back? Deidre?
Oh, sorry, I tried to
Deidre?
put my mic on.
I
So
know
the
it's
homework
hard.
was to present a family tree
Mhm.
and to also, I think you said pick a day that you can do nothing for 2 hours or go outside, be silent, journal, read, or work on your family tree.
Mhm. Do you have offhand? That's correct. You got the homework. Do you have offhand what day you will choose?
I already wrote it down. Yeah, Friday.
Friday. Okay. And do you have what you will choose to do?
Most likely be silent. I like to
Mhm.
crochet, so maybe like be silent and crochet so I could think, clear my mind.
Okay. Good, good. All right. Quickly, Nicole, what day you'll choose and will you do?
I'm thinking about, I love nature, so maybe just go in the woods, do a little hike. I don't know exact day. I would try to do this kid free.
All right. All right. I feel you on that. Okay, Harlem, what will you do?
Um, I think I'm gonna go outside and sit with my chickens and just sit there.
That'll be good for you.
Yeah.
Especially being in isolation, that'd be good for you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yes, next week come back and I want to see you in that journal. Start a log, right? Day, time, what you did. Okay, we want to start to see your natural rhythm.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so that's, oh, any question? You had a question, Nicole?
I'm sorry, will you send us a link for next week?
Absolutely. Are you in the Divine Feminine podcast chat group on WhatsApp?
I'm not. I just added my number to the chat. Hopefully y'all can add me up there.
Yes, I will add you right after I finish off this. I will add you, and in that chat group, we 30 minutes prior to the date. We have these every Sunday. Okay.
Okay.
And prior to the time, I will put I'll put in the chat group the link.
Thank you.
Okay. So be looking for that, but know that we do this every Sunday.
Okay.
Okay. Right. So that concludes this part 2 of ancestral veneration. As you can see, I am really excited about family trees, and I'm very excited to hear what you have, right? Because this will be one more step to identifying who you are, right? This is an internal discovery, all right? Okay. Well, be well, everyone, and thank you for participating.
Thank you so much for inviting me, ladies. I enjoyed this. I'll see you next week.
Oh, there's another portion.
Got one more.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
Okay.
yes. The main event, if you will. The main event, if you will. Yes. No, so now we have the pleasure and the honor of hearing from Mianu Ananasi, or Priestess Hanera Bunu, as she's known here in the States. And she is a phenomenal woman, a powerful leader. She began her initiatic path with a Kemetic initiation, which then led to her going to Benin and becoming a initiating and becoming a high-ranking Alafia adept. And then she began to specialize in her calling as a Huno, which is a priest, and specifically even more Mami Wata priestess, or Mianu. And along with all of those things, she also is the head of 3 corporations. She's a mother of 5. She has a lot of responsibility within her family. So she is really well versed in many of the things that we experience. And she can help bring a lot of clarity and insight into your specific situations. And so she is really big on connecting. And so when she gets on the call, she likes to see cameras so she can see you, she can connect. As I said, she's a mother of 5. She's a businesswoman. She's a priest. So she's used to a lot of things going on. If your background's kind of crazy, but she does need to be able to have that energy exchange. So I will give you ladies a moment to be able to turn your cameras on, Nicole and Deidre, as we welcome in Priestess. Nice. Good to see you, Nicole. Deidre, are you able to put your camera on?
It's saying that I have to go through to my camera settings on the phone, so I have to go through all of that. I'm doing that now.
Okay. I'm very excited for next week to be able to hear the digging that you've done and what happened during your times of reflection. It's going to be really, really powerful. to be able to just spend some time with yourself. Oh,
Okay.
good to see you, Deidre. So beautiful.
Thank you.
All right, and we will be hearing from Mianu.
Alafia. I'm greeting everyone. Thank you, Jay, for that introduction. I'm greeting you, all of the new people on the call. I see Harlem Beat. I see you, Nicole. I see you, DJ. I'm greeting you, your ancestors, and your spiritual team, everyone that came with you to this call. I'd like to give honor and respect to my teacher, Nae Buji Tao Enemaso II, whom I literally just left. Me and Abla, we've been there all weekend. And for those of you who don't know, I'm greeting you from the shores of West Africa, right in Cotonou, Benin, not far from Ouida, which is the birthplace of voodoo. And so we have been, we travel there every weekend. When in town, the Sankofa program has started. And so the new students had their first week at the temple. And so it was great. We had visitors come in and it was just busy. Lots of spiritual work. And we literally left in the middle or towards the end of one ceremony. Queen Mother was like, no, wait, we have to take a picture first. The USA Temple, those women in the chat, a couple women in the call, donated resources to buy the children in at the temple, which is Abla. How many kids would you say? I was thinking 38, but it might be more than that.
Yes, it was about 30 or 40 kids, definitely.
So we
Definitely.
bought school supplies for all of the children. And so that was just something that we did as the USA Temple. There is a temple in the USA, which I am the executor and head priest over. And then we have one in Brazil. We have one in the UK. And I think one more opening somewhere soon. And so the headquarters, we all report back to Benin. And so I personally live here and have started a, where in the US is the US Temple? It is, actually it's all over because I'm required chartered by the divinities to be in all 50 states, but our physical location is in California. But we have a heavy presence in Houston. We have a heavy presence on the East Coast, as well as the West Coast. And so, some of you guys are new to Nazia Fa and to the Divine Feminine family, as you get to know us and see all that we're doing, you'll see we're all over. But to answer your question, physically, we're in California.
Thank you. Do y'all have any Virginia or near Virginia?
We have, we do events. And so we do retreats, we do festivals. And the way it normally goes is if there is a woman who is dedicated in the work, I will help groom her. And in the grooming process, I will be spending a lot of time in that area. And so, or that region of the country. And so we'll be doing a lot of events in that area. So you could always find us online, or travel, or you can host an event in Virginia. Is that
I love
where
that.
you are?
What happened?
Sometimes in Africa, the internet can get a little sketchy. So
Near
Oh,
Virginia.
yeah. Here too, and I'm in New York.
Okay. So before I get started, do you guys have any questions from the first two sessions that I can answer? No? On one, on twice. Because I don't know if you guys covered it, but I want to ask how you guys found out about Paul and what drew you to come today for the three of you. Quickly.
I was invited by Jennifer. We became,
Okay.
we spoke and met on Facebook, and it was just we just clicked. And she told me about this beautiful group, and I came.
Okay. Is that Jennifer Johnson? Nice. You're welcome.
Jennifer Carroll.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Okay.
I feel welcome.
You're still welcome. Okay.
I saw an ad on Facebook.
Sure.
Sorry about that. I was saying I saw an ad on Facebook, and when I looked at it and the topics you were talking about, I just knew I had to come here.
Okay. Okay. Deidre?
Through Facebook, I add on Facebook as well.
Okay. Okay, well, welcome. Welcome to the two of you. Is it my background that's noisy? I have these earbuds in, so I can't, it's my background.
There's a bunch of motorcycles going by. I'm outside. I usually do the call for this outside just because it
Hold
feels
on.
good. But yeah, we had a bunch of like the biker convention or something just rolled
Okay.
past. So and they were bumping some loud music. I didn't feel like sharing
Oh, okay. Okay.
with everybody.
Okay. Okay. Okay, good. So just so you guys are aware, for Harlem, Deidre, and Nicole, I have a podcast. It's the Divine Feminine Podcast. The logo that you see Abla, blank your screen. Yep, so they can see your profile picture. Turn your video off, Abla.
Okay.
All right, when you guys see that logo, that is the logo for the Divine Feminine Podcast. Wherever you listen to podcasts, you can find the podcast. There's plenty of Divine Feminine podcasts out there, but if you put in Hanera, Hanera, if you put in Hanera, it'll come right up.
Okay.
Not too many Haneras out there. Haneera. Okay. There's plenty of series out there. Ancestral veneration, the altar, how I got started, all of those things to learn more about me. Okay. As
Okay.
Aquavi mentioned, I've been doing this for a really long time. And my mission and goal is to help raise the consciousness of African people, especially those of us that are on the West, to raise us back to our African consciousness. And in doing that, it will draw us closer to our ancestral calling, okay, and put us in divine alignment and favor. So that's good. You guys heard me mention the Sankofa program. Does anyone
Yes.
know what the Sankofa program is? I know you guys are.
No.
Okay, what is it? Okay. All right. The Sankofa program is a program that we started about 3 years ago. It's where African American children from the US get to study abroad in West Africa and be socialized to be Africans, right? All of the colonization and damage that is done to us that we're trying to undo now as adults, right? You guys are on this call to learn how to heal yourself, and a lot of the things that you'll be learning with me that will help you be better practitioners, honestly, is just decolonization. And it's just undoing a lot of um, been done to us here. And it's just not Black people. It's just the society here that it targets. However, my population that I gravitate to is what I am, which is the African American woman. And so I kind of gravitate towards that population. But those who are called and resonate with my energy, they are welcome, right? As a priest, I don't turn away anyone. I help all of the Divine Mother's children, and there's not a human being out there that isn't isn't her child. So, although right now we only have African American children, there may be other children that join, and the goal is to return to a traditional mindset. Okay, which is what you will be learning from me here. So in this Heal the Healer series, we've been doing it for about 2 months now. We have been talking about restoration. We've been talking about restoration of ourselves, right? So before we go into that, for those who are new on the call, how do you identify as a healer? Are you guys working in the wellness or holistic arena? Do you have special gifts and abilities? How did the title resonate with you?
So for my story, some of you know I'm going to school for acupuncture and Chinese medicine. And before that, I've always had this fascination with how you can heal yourself through food, through just restorative stuff like meditation, breath work.
Mhm.
And I don't think if it's in my family bloodline. I think it was probably on my dad's side because they were interested in herbal healing. So feel like I'm just picking that back up.
Yes, you have it naturally, Helen.
As far as I'm concerned, I'm not really sure when you say gifts, exactly what you mean.
Well, when you hear gifts, what comes to mind?
The things that I'm naturally good at.
Mhm.
So I guess I'm a little hesitant because I usually don't say things like this to people. I don't talk to people about things like this. So, this is the first time I've ever actually been in a group with like-minded anyone.
Wow. Wow. Okay.
I do have,
Welcome.
I am married, and I've told my husband certain things. I don't know exactly what it is, but I do have the ability to avoid danger. I can feel energy, feel when things are not right, when something is wrong. And I've told him a few times in my own life, I've been in situations where things could have gone bad, but if not for my gift to see what other people around me didn't see, I think it could have gone bad. Something like that. Dreams,
Mhm.
herbs and medicine, my garden, and just seeing certain things that some people don't see.
You are welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. No, you are definitely amongst like-minded people. And I appreciate Jennifer for referring you to the group. And I can't wait to have your energy um, inside more. Wait a minute. Jennifer, were we all messaging the last few days in the chat group? Was that with you? Was this another lady, Abla? Okay, share screen.
I have to look. Yeah, I have to, sorry, I have to look to see. Okay, I'll
You know, I was
double
back
check.
and forth. I wasn't in the chat group too much, but there was a woman I identified, offered her to come this Sunday. I thought her name was, she was going through something, but that may not have been you, Harmon. Okay. And then we lost Deidre. Okay. So Nicole,
You want me to share?
yes.
Okay. I'm going to start by saying one of the earliest memories that my sister will tell me where they thought I was crazy or we knew I was different. She says I was upstairs mixing up potions. And, back then my mom was heavily into church. So of course I was doing something evil, which I have no clue. I was like 5. And I remember her putting like holy water on the doorknobs and stuff. And I used to hear voices and she just thought I was crazy. So a whole bunch of medicine. But I always had these gifts. Like I could dream something and it'll come true the next day. Since actually my biological mother, she has that same gift.
All right. Nicole, you were muted.
You couldn't hear me at all?
Okay. No, towards the end, but that last thing I think I heard was biological mother.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was saying like when I met her, you know, I asked her, was anybody spiritualist or healers in the family? Because I have a lot of healing energy and I just have gifts that I can't explain. And she didn't tell me the first time I spoke to her, but that second time she said, I thought about what you asked me. And she said, I've always had these dreams. She actually told me before, a week before I came to her, she had a dream about a baby and she couldn't understand. She just knew something was coming. And she realized, you know, me coming back in her life, it was putting everything full circle.
Hmm.
Mm, that's good. That's good. Okay. Well, the Healer series is designed to help restore those who are constantly pouring into others. And I think from hearing you ladies, I think you qualify as people who are constantly pouring your gifts and energies and abilities into others. Sometimes without knowing, you sense and you know and you feel. Um, and that could be draining. That could be exhausting. That could be um, a lot to try to manage, as well as all your day to day responsibilities and functions. And so, because of that, we have to make it a point to, I think the going word for it right now is self-care, right? I think that's the buzzword that they're saying, self-care. But we have to restore ourselves. As women, um, as women, we are our family's first teacher. Okay. You're your children's first teacher, which means you are the first teacher not only for the family, but for the community, for the nation, even. The woman is. And if the woman is not healed and restored, she cannot heal her family, teach her family, or restore her family past the level of her healing or her restoration, or teach past the level of her training. And so that's why we are having the Heal the Healer series, so that we, as the first healers, the first teachers, can be restored and build up strong families, strong communities, and a strong nation. Okay. So, with that being said, Helena, you were here last week. We are preparing for a cleanse, ladies. This is the last week before we start our cleanse. We are doing a cleanse in October. We are doing a yay! Come on now, give you guys we have been preparing. Come on, come on. Aquavi Habla. Helena, we've been doing this for a whole month. Just preparing. We are at the finish line. We are about to start. Next Sunday will be the first day of the fast. And yes, you will have to have your cameras on. I don't care if you're cranky. You will have to have your camera on, okay? You can have a hoodie on. It's okay. Jay, put the hoodie up. It's to show them how it's okay. You can have the hood on, but the camera's on. I'm joking, but sometimes it's like that, right? Sometimes we get cranked depending on what we have to purge, right? Depending on what we've been taking in from cleanse to cleanse, not only physically, but energetically and mentally, spiritually. We pick up a lot. And those of us who are sensitive, who are empaths, who are healers, we are like sponges. So because we are so open, we attract so much. We have more to cleanse. We have to cleanse more. And I've been talking about the importance of cleansing and why we have to do that. You guys missed about a whole month of me teaching on that. We're going to be uploading those videos. I don't know where we're going to upload them just yet, if it's going to be on YouTube or some other platform, but you will be able to go back and get the back lessons to be able to keep up with where we are now. And but for those of you who, do you guys fast and cleanse? Harlan, Nicole, do you guys cleanse and fast?
I fast regularly. I just finished about a 4-day fast. I didn't do anything but tea and water for 4
Okay.
days.
For 4 days. Okay. What about you, Nicole?
This would be my first one. I've done like detoxes for a few days, but I've never done like a whole fast.
Okay. Okay. Well, this is a fast, a detox, a reset. It's all of those things, right? And if you're up for it, all the things. Yes, that's right, Helena. If you're up for it, we welcome you to join and do the 30 days with us. Okay. So, are you two ladies, are they in the WhatsApp chat already?
I believe I am. I've responded to some chats, to some
Okay.
talks in that thread.
I just
Okay.
got a notification.
You just got in. Okay. So we are going to be creating a separate chat because there is a gentleman that wanted to fast with us. And we took a vote, and the lady said they want to protect the feminine chat and let that be that. However, we can create a chat just for the detox, and
Wow.
we can include him in that one. And so I respect the lady's decision. Because we do have to have a safe space, right?
Mhm.
And so we're creating a separate chat. But for me, I'll probably just put messages in both. Okay. And so what we're going to talk about today is going to be a lot about preparing for the detox and the fast. So Helena, will you get us up to speed? Will you go over and recap your notes from last week?
Right. Let me get to that part of it. So for the prep and protocol, what I have listed is maybe showering twice a day. So once in the morning, once in the afternoon or evening. With our speech, we're gonna be speaking clearly, saying what you mean what you say, cut out that profanity, keep it all clean, word and action. No sex, because as a feminine, we receive. So when it comes to energy exchange, we receive the energy from our partner. I might have that cross, but we also energetically exchange it to give them what they need. Keep a journal for the fast. So that's where you're gonna write your downloads, thoughts, whispers from the divine from, so that way your head's clear. You don't have all that stuff bouncing around upstairs, because we know it gets busy. So white articles of clothing, prayer cloth, towel, things like that. Lots and lots of water to cleanse out those toxins and keep everything moving smooth. I guess we also did there's 2 different types of fast. There's the all day from sunrise to sunset. And there's the intermittent, which is from noon to 6 p.m. I don't know if I missed anything else on that one.
No, I think that was most of the new material that we
Okay.
covered for last week. We talked about eliminating social media and any toxic TV and music.
Okay.
Also, with no sex means no masturbation. Okay. We are going to keep that energy inside and heighten our connection to our head spirit. Okay. So, when we do eat, we are eating on an alkaline diet. Okay. So 2 of us on the call are here in Africa. We are not going to be eating from sun up to sundown. Thankfully, the weather is cool right now. It's I actually used a sheet at night, which is good. Yeah, I could put a jacket and a hoodie on. This is cold. This is considered the winter time. And so that's good because doing a cleanse right now, it's not too hot, right? It does get hot, but not too hot. Like today, it's perfect weather. But still and yet, we won't be eating from sun up to sundown. And when sunset comes, we will be having alkaline meals. Okay. If you do need to eat, I would say make a decision, right? This is a personal decision, but you need to make a decision and stick to it. If you are going to do one or the other, if you're going to do sun up to sundown or intermittent. And the reason I say that is because if you start to slide and slide the bar, then you will slide the whole way through. Okay, you will accept excuses the whole way through. Last week, I talked a lot about discipline, right? I talked a lot about pain and suffering. And I know in the spiritual community, we don't like to use words like that. And, you know, for me, I don't subscribe to that. The reason I don't subscribe to it is because I liken it to going to the gym. When you go to the gym, you got to suffer. In order to get those flat abs, in order to get that butt just right, you gotta do all those squats. You gotta burn. It's pain. It does not feel good. Yep. For the amount of suffering you put in, that is the same amount of connection you'll get. The key to this, what is the key that I said we were going to achieve during this month? What are we increasing? Aha. Y'all see that in the chat? We are increasing our spiritual purity. And for the people who are new, what is the definition of spiritual purity?
Say free from blemish, free from any type of anything that can hold us back.
Nope, that's not it, Helena. That's not what I gave you.
Let me check. Hold on. No garbage in the temple is what I have. Unless there's another definition you gave us.
Yep.
Okay.
Equality.
Purity is the measure at which the unseen world will interact.
That's a gem. If I don't see you again, Harlem, you take that with you. That's a tool in your tool belt.
Oh, you'll see me again.
Okay. Purity is the measure in which the unseen world will interact with you. I don't care if you're a light worker, if you're a dark worker. I don't care if you know what gifts you have and how to connect with them or you don't. On this path, the measurement in which the unseen world will interact with you tells your level of purity spiritually. And what I'm teaching you, the reason I'm giving you the ways that I'm giving you is because I want you to increase your spiritual ability. As a healer, you have to connect to the unseen world. That is how you recharge. I talked last week about the feminine energy being in charge of the unseen world and the masculine energy being in charge of this physical domain. That's why men have all the muscles. That's why they can fight. They're the brutes. Yeah, they got that, right? And on the flip side of that, that's why women, we're meek, we're humble, but we're strong with our mouth. And it's through our mouth and it's through our communication that we can move energy. We are the ones who serve the divine, who pray to the unseen, and they move on our behalf. That is where we are strong. And so, as women, we have to increase our spiritual purity in order to see change in our gifts, in order to heal ourselves and restore. Okay. So I'll let you guys get caught up on all the videos that I did about purity, more about what it is and how we're going to do it. For the sake of time, I'm just going to continue to move forward with today's lesson. And the first part of that is we had to go over the homework. You have the homework. Abla, Kwabi, you guys got homework too? Everybody has homework. Okay.
Yeah.
So in preparing for the fast, we know that we're going to shower twice a day. We know that we're going to drink at least 1 gallon of water. We're going to try. Okay. And you guys know when I say try, I'm talking about an African try, a traditional try. I'm not talking about no American try. Okay. And I tell a funny story. You when you are exhausted and you've exhausted all your resources, you're tired, your effort, you're about to pass out. Here on the continent, someone will look at you and say, she tried. And that's a try. Right? Where and they just it's like an offhanded smirk. It's like she tried. And you are literally at the brink of like passing out. You have given it your all, past your all, set a new height in your level of tolerance. And they're like, you tried, you know. And in the West, back in America, just doing any half effort is a try. Right? So 2 completely different ideas. Okay. So when I say try, I'm talking about a traditional try. Okay. So we are going to try to drink a gallon of water a day. Okay. We're gonna shower twice a day. Right. And when are we definitely gonna shower?
In the morning.
Someone who's
After we eliminate,
after we eliminate. That is
keep it all
true.
clean.
Yes. So, and by yes, we cannot have corruption on us, and we are trying to increase our purity, right? We're trying to draw the spirits closer to us. We're trying to increase our purity, yet we have caca on us. I don't care how much toilet paper you use, there is still a thin layer of caca on there. It's nasty. They don't like it. It's corruption. You wouldn't use paper to clean your shoe. Don't use it for your behind. Okay, we talk about that in the previous videos. I'm not gonna go too heavy. So we're gonna shower twice a day. We're gonna drink a gallon of water. Water is you guys see the theme of water all through this process. Okay, water is cleansing. Water helps eliminate toxicity. And with the feminine energy, we're going to watch what we say.
Yeah.
Okay. And for some of us, you know, that might mean that we are quiet a lot. That might mean that we cry a lot. And that may mean that we isolate ourselves, because with your purity increasing, that means your spiritual gifts are increasing. The strength of them is increasing, which means what, ladies? That means that what you say has a greater chance of happening.
Mhm.
Okay. We don't want to yell at the kids. You spend 9 months creating them, but yet your mouth will destroy them.
Mm.
You will destroy your creation with your mouth. Okay. And let me let you in on a little something. I said it last class. I'm going to say it right now because we have some new people. The spiritual team that you have with you, they don't know the difference between when you're playing and when you're not playing, when you're serious and when you're not serious. All they know is that such and such made you upset, right? And right, because they see energy. They know when your heart rate is increasing, when you start to get angry and your ears start to get hot, you start to sweat, right? You start to get upset. Next thing you know, you done said something. Well, sometimes that person is your child. Sometimes that's your spouse, and you love your child, you love your spouse. They might have frustrated you because you had an expectation that they should have known to close the door. Okay, they should have known to 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 brush their teeth in the morning. But that anger that you're directing to that loved one, the spirit don't know you playing. The spirit don't know you're just frustrated, and they will attack the very thing that you love. So while we're working on increasing our purity, while we're working on that connection, while our gifts are so potent, we want to make sure that we are speaking clearly, that we are regulating our emotions and making sure that the energy that we're putting out is true and honest. Right? If you're going to love this man next week, don't get upset he didn't take the trash out like that. Okay? Don't get upset like that. Don't cuss him out so bad. Right? Just like we don't want no man hitting on no woman, we don't want no woman cussing out no man. Because our mouth is our muscles. Our mouth is our superpower. And when we start looking at it like that, you know, that changes your paradigm, right? The same way you don't want him manhandling you, snatching you around, is the same way you can't manipulate and dominate and treat him a certain way with your mouth. Because we have that power. Each of us on the call. I know we do. So we want to make sure that we're speaking clearly, no profanity, and we're watching the energy that goes out. And I talked last week about idioms and making sure that we're not speaking in slang. Okay, that we're speaking in clear concepts. Did I give you examples? I don't know what my paper is with the examples, but what were some of the examples of idioms that I gave last week? Can anyone remember some or give some new ones?
I'll give it a stab.
Right, I'll give it a stab. Are we really gonna take a knife and do this? No. The spiritual team expects that to happen, right? Because that's what each word has a specific concept and a specific meaning. So when you're speaking a specific language, they take the concepts and the meaning of that language. They don't understand slang. Okay. What was that? Abracadabra comes from what?
So abracadabra, people think it's just something magicians say to poof, but if you think about your words, it comes from Aramaic and it means which I create as I speak. And if you think about, and I've kind of shared this with their family members, that they say, "Oh, bad stuff always happens to me." Well, guess what? You keep saying bad stuff always, you're gonna keep calling that in. Whereas I'll tell them I'm afraid of $1 million coming at me, and they're like, think about it. I'm terrified
Right.
of $1 million. Oh my goodness. Or hoping to receive $1 million. It's like when if anyone's done emotional freedom technique where you do the tapping, you
Mhm.
help rewire your brain when you do that, where you say, I'm beautiful, you know, and you hit all the different energetic meridians. Think of the power you could have where it's like I knew somebody that healed his eczema through EFT through tapping. So
Mm.
Wow.
it's legit. I mean, I've done it kind of with my own self-healing and seen some shifts.
Yeah.
Gotta try
Thank you
that.
for bringing that perspective. I like when we bring our education from other modalities and it's all universal, right? Because when you work in universal principles, when you work in truth, it doesn't matter which tradition it comes from, it's truth. So that you'll be able to find a similarity and an overlay. So I appreciate that support, Helena. Okay, so we're gonna watch what we're saying. We're gonna speak clearly. Okay. We talked about no sex, intermittent fasting, alcohol. When we do eat, um, it's going to be alkaline. And I gave you guys homework. You were supposed to. What was the homework? I'm not gonna say it. I'm giving up too much. What was the homework?
One of those was to have that list of recipes, pick your, you know, your top 5 that'll be kind of fulfilling and restorative when after you fasted all day. And if you want to take a step
Yes.
further, get that grocery list going.
Right, right. Do you have your list ready?
Hmm.
All right, I'll let you go first.
So I kind of have it split up a couple different ways, just because sometimes my brain likes to plan, but sometimes it just body calls for something different. So I have like a little list of ongoing things I'm always gonna have, like things like different vegetables like peas, squash, spinach, all the sweet potatoes, whether they're
Mm-hmm.
purple, orange, or whatever color.
Mm-hmm.
Avocado, tofu, all types, traditional yeast will be kind of in my on my rotation. But then I'm gonna probably be doing a lot more Indian style curries because of all the turmeric and ginger. It helps
Mm-hmm.
my body work out. Cauliflower soup. And with that one, maybe it'll be European overlay, might be Indian overlay. We don't know.
Okay.
It's like
Whatever
that.
the day calls for.
Yeah, because I have probably like 40 herbs and spices in my cabinet, and sometimes I'm feeling spicy. Sometimes I just want, I don't know, something soothing.
Mm-hmm.
Different stir fries I could do with all the vegetables I have. So with that, I just do a simple soy sauce and maybe, or actually coconut aminos,
Mhm.
Okay.
plus salt. Yeah, aloo palak is another Indian style curry, but instead of using the cheese, I'm gonna use tofu.
Okay.
And yeah, roasted squash and mushroom soup. For that, I'm probably gonna sub out it calls for uh meat stock, but I'm gonna do veggie stock for anything that calls for veggie stock or meat stock.
Okay.
And yeah, so tofu scramble with chorizo, potatoes, either sweet or regular. Kind of like my mushrooms, since I know that they're good for all the things. And then in between, I'm gonna have I have some herbal teas lined up like rooibos. I'm probably just gonna brew
Okay.
straight ginger tea just because I know it does wonders.
Mm.
But I think also just with the food, so we talk about doing everything else mindfully. I
Okay.
think it's also when we eat to eat it mindfully and appreciate those bites, you know, instead of, so I know some people after they fasted all day just want to gobble it down and I don't know, take a second, take a bite, like appreciate all those flavors hitting your tongue and make that like a mindfulness moment. Just appreciate it, give gratitude
Mm-hmm.
to the hands that help get that to you, you know, to your place, whether you grew it or it was picked up in the valley here.
Mm-hmm. Is that your list?
That's basically it, yeah.
Okay. All right. Who wants to go next? Akwabi, Abla. Give me some of your favorites. What's on your
So on my list, I have alkaline tacos, of course, with the chickpea tortilla. And then this one, I'm not sure if it would be alkaline, but it's vegan tuna. But like, I'm not sure if the like vegan mayo would be alkaline. So that one kind of has just like a star by it. Vegan chili, because I love me some beans. Um, I found this recipe on Pinterest. It's called caramelized onion harissa chickpeas. And I'm a big fan of chickpeas and onions. And I've never had harissa before, but we're trying new things. I've never done a 30-day, so I have to
You'll
sign
love
down.
it. It's spicy. It's refreshing. Just a little
Yeah.
dab will do.
Yeah.
Tea.
And then I also have curry, so curry chickpeas. And then I'm a starch girl personally, so I have quinoa and cauliflower on the list because those are alkaline. So like doing the curries with those. Um, and then also roasted veggies. When Priestess was going away for her going away meal, I made roasted veggies and they were so delicious. Like the whole night I was saying it. The people who were there eating who like aren't big veggie eaters, they really enjoyed it too. So I'm definitely gonna run that back because it was just one pan. It was easy to do. And then also I love a good like sauteed greens like spinach and kale with mushrooms and onions. So that's my go-to. And I'm excited because a lot of it is stuff that tastes better days later. So I can like make a big pot and then I'll be good, like because cooking does take a lot of energy. I love it, but I also love the idea of having pre-made meals that I love ready to go after like a long day because I work at a restaurant and so it's gonna be hard smelling all the various foods all day. So having something ready when I come home is one of the ways I'm like setting up to be able to, resist that temptation.
Good, good, good. All right, Abla.
Okay, well, I am in Benin, so my regular shopping list is different. I wanted to have something that I could, be very simple with. So I had planned for the mornings to, like morning prior to sunrise, to have fruit and tea. And so I'm going to have fun with exploring the various teas here: moringa, green tea, lemongrass tea. And I'm sure there are many other traditional teas, but those are the three that I was going to work with. And fruit, mainly, well, I'm in love with pineapple here. So I know pineapple is very acidic, but actually, when you digest it, the enzymes that are created are alkaline, which help alkalize the body. I'm going to be drinking throughout the day water with lemon just to further alkalize my body. And for dinner, of course, I want to do like a pat, which is like cassava. Are you familiar with like fufu?
Mm-hmm.
It's
I
kind
like
of like a potato-y of
the swallow.
yes, like a swallow. So I'm going to
Yes,
do like
swallow.
and legume sauce. Legume sauce I learned was very from Priestess was very alkaline. So legume sauce, and also I'm gonna try that legume sauce with moringa leaves. That's gonna be my go-to. I also have a good appreciation for the couscous here. That was like one of my favorite meals. So couscous. And where I have a star is if I could have black eyed peas, because black eyed peas are really big here and I love them and they kind of go with the couscous. So I'm gonna do some further research on that, but I have a feeling it's probably no. I have a feeling. But other than that, it's gonna be a lot of salads. Until I can explore more. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, put that in the chat and let us know. Also, the verdict So the verdict on the black eyed peas and also cassava. Okay. Can you do the research on those? I'll put those
Yes,
in.
I would.
Okay, for me, everyone who knows me knows I eat salad normally. So of course I'm gonna have my regular salad. The pineapple here, of course, I'll probably break fast with pineapple and a salad. Couple of my meals, I like egg whites, so I'll do either hard-boiled eggs with just the egg white or an egg white omelet with some sweet potato. I have tons of, and I like to add supplements, so protein powder, mushroom powder, and all other types of supplements to my protein, to my smoothies. Um, your big sister Naga, she I commissioned her and one of the other ladies to make 2 big pots of sauce. And so one of the sauces that they're making is a moringa sauce. So we'll pick that up on Thursday. So moringa sauce, legume sauce. I had walnut mushroom tacos down, hoping that Jay will bring me some out of the freezer when she comes, because we made the mix a while ago. And other than that, to either break fast or have right before sunrise, I have my snacks like walnuts, snacking on walnuts, either right before sunrise or right at sunset, and then farina.
Okay, I heard you.
Farina will probably be what I have first thing in the morning, like around 5, 6 o'clock, right before the sun rises. Have a big bowl of farina to last me. Yeah, because in addition to no eating here, those who are going to be in the compound in Africa, we're also going to be exercising. We're also going to be taking our supplements. We have sea moss gel, we have moringa pills, chlorophyll, we have copper, daily vitamin. There's so many things here that we're going to be taking in order to help recharge, reboot ourselves. And so, what is that? I have to head. Oh, you have to leave, Helena?
Yeah, I
Is that
have
what
to
that
get
said?
going. It's been a beautiful session today, and I didn't want to just pop in and
Okay,
but thank you for today and for the more extra
no
insight.
worries. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, and we'll add you to that other chat, so everything else, you'll get in that. Okay. Okay. So, what do we do when we get ready to, what are the spiritual components that we're going to add to the fast? We've talked about some of the physical components, but we haven't talked about some of the spiritual components. Okay? And from spiritual components, meaning we should be having periods of time where we are sending our wishes, having meditation and prayer. You should have 2 times within the day. 2 times within the day. Ideally, it would be right before evening. Ideally, okay. But But that may not work, okay, for everyone's schedule. Now remember, um, the longer you go without eating, the closer or the pure you are, right? And why is that? Habla Quavi. Why
Because
is that?
uh, because we will be creating a welcoming space for the spirits and the energies to be around us by not doing the human corruptive things that they don't have to do. So they'll be able to be with us
Right,
more.
right, right. So spirit, divinities, energies, they don't have to eat, right? They don't have to eat. And so the longer you can go without eating, the closer you are with them. Eating is something we have to do because we're in our human self, okay? And so when we are in our fasting period, right, we should be taking advantage of that time and actually praying, actually invoking during that time. That is the time to do it. Not after you've eaten. If we just think about the principle of it, right? It should be when you're at your weakest, actually, when you're the most agitated, when you are the most humble, when you barely have enough energy to reply to anyone. That's when you should take a second and just say, I just want to thank you. I just want to thank you for the covering over my children. Thank you for the covering over my life, over my house. When you are at your weakest, that's when you actually should be going into prayer. Okay. Twice a day. You guys have that?
Yes.
Okay. Twice a day. Like I said, ideally in the morning or right before you break fast. But middle of the, if you eat in the morning, like if you get up at 5 o'clock to eat, then that wouldn't be the best time. It might be midday when you're at your weakest. That would be the best time to pray then. And then right before you break fast at sunset. Okay. At any rate, because everyone's life is different, I'm gonna want you guys to report back on the calls the time that you found in your life that works best for you. Okay. And when you share with other healers on the call, it may help someone else in their life. So that's a homework assignment. Aquabi, write that down. Scribe for me. Homework assignment given is to monitor or observe your life to see when prayer or speaking to the divine, invoking to the divine is the best for you. Or come up when the two times. I want to do it. And for the ladies on the call, you guys can take last week's assignment also. If you guys are coming in, hold on one second, let me get it out. And that assignment is to come up with 5 recipes, 5 go-to recipes. It'll be ideal for you guys to do it now because we're starting next Sunday. So you need to go shopping and stock your refrigerator and start the meal prep. Okay, get a water bottle if you don't have one. Favorite glass. Someone had a question. No? Okay. Tell the babies I said hello. Okay. All right. All right. So we're gonna pray before we break fast. When we break fast, you need to focus on eating at that time. Okay. Meaning that you shouldn't, during this time, talking about the 30 days, you should not have your meal with anyone else, right? We're not going to eat together and be talking, laughing, smiling, and communing together. Not during the 30 days. In voodoo, we know that we have spirits with us. And when we eat, we also feed the spirits that are with us. Sometimes they take human form. Sometimes we just feed ancestors. Okay. And so when we eat, we will have our ho-ho with us, right? For those of you who are new to voodoo, ho-ho is similar. It looks like a doll. You know, they have the classic voodoo dolls, right? That are out there. It has a whole different meaning when you learn about the religion and the tradition. But if I had to liken it to something that we've been exposed to in the West, that's what it is. It's like a voodoo doll. Okay. And what it really signifies, and for you guys who don't have that spiritual tool just yet, you could have maybe a picture of an ancestor, right? A loved one who you're close to, right? Or just be thinking of yourself, right? And you just want to have that time focused on eating and nourishing yourself, your first temple.
Okay.
You shouldn't be breaking fast in the car, right? You shouldn't be eating in the car. You should be sitting down somewhere still. You should be chewing slow. We're not just gonna we're really gonna take in the food. Okay. And then in traditions, we know we eat till we're satisfied. Okay. We eat till we're satisfied. Not till we're full. There's a difference. You guys know the difference?
Yes.
What's the difference for you?
For me, it means when
Explain the difference for me.
The difference, you're full and you're ready to pop, as opposed to you're satiated and about a third of your stomach is full.
Right. Okay. In Western culture, we have a term called the itis. Okay.
I heard that.
Yeah. See, that's one of those idioms. I tell you, the speaking clearly, that's the one that's gonna get me for the 30 days, right? We have the itis. I can't use itis after today. We don't want to eat to that level. Okay. We just want to satisfy ourselves. And that may mean that you eat a couple hours later, okay? Because you can eat, right? Once you have that one meal, again, in a couple hours, you can eat again before the sun comes up. Right? So it's not that we have to get everything in, like have to have the mindset of scarcity. No, no, no. We will be able to eat again. Okay.
Okay.
Are we on time? We got another call. All right, in 30 minutes I should end here. Okay. All right, ladies, you guys are in the chat. I think I apologize. This is your first time and you caught us right before we are preparing to go to cleanse. And so the lesson is a little different. Normally you could jump right in and the teaching is more direct, but this had to be a certain way because I have to get people ready for next week. And you too, if you guys are joining us. Do you know yet if you're going to join us or not? Parliament Nicole.
You mean for the fast?
Oh yeah.
Why
I'm
not?
joining.
For the
I
fast.
have my recipes already. So
Look, I might need to borrow some.
Okay. Okay. Okay, well share, Harlem. What recipes do you have? Share.
well, I love curry. Anything curry. So I'll be currying everything. I'm just kidding. Curry chickpea,
Okay.
Korean purple yam, roasted Brussels sprouts. I like my fruit and salad with hemp seed.
Nice.
I like my falafel. I like the veggie tuna. It doesn't have any real fish in it, but it's made out of nuts with kelp and stuff. And the mayonnaise is made out of avocado.
Okay.
And that's it. And tea, elderberry. I like cinnamon tea and green tea. Yeah.
No, those are good. Yeah, definitely the green tea, the cinnamon tea is going to be good too. The one thing I would not caution, but just say as a reminder is the type of oil you fry the falafel in.
Oh, I don't fry it. I'm a bake it in the oven.
Okay.
Yeah. Fried foods aggravate my stomach.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, and they're not alkaline, so we have to be careful.
Okay.
Oh, since we're talking about alkalinity, there's certain things that are outside of the food realm, but they're still acidic, right? What am I talking about? Smoking of any kind, vaping, marijuana, tobacco, okay? Those things, we can do them during fast. What else is acidic? We talked about no sex, but being just a little bit deeper, semen is acidic. Okay. Yeah. What else? Of course, negative talk, certain music, the vibration is low. What else did we talk about before? I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. Just on a basic note, for an alkaline diet, some of the big ones is no meat, no dairy, no sugar, no bread, pasta, white bread, white pasta, none of those things. None of those, no caffeine, definitely no caffeine, no stimulants. I'm giving you guys a brief recap of what's alkaline and what's not on a high level. Okay. If you guys need more research, I would say Google Dr. Sebi, Google Chef Aki, Dr. Layla Africa. Who else is out there championing for alkaline diet?
Queen Afua.
Anyone else you guys know of that we can share? Yes, Queen of Four. Okay. Of course, Queen. I had the pleasure of working with her each time she came in San Diego. Love Queen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Me too.
All right. All right. That'll be class for today. Ladies, we have you in the WhatsApp group. This is good. We will stay connected. You guys have any last questions before we go, before we end the call?
Not a qu- But just thank y'all for the invite.
You're
Yes.
welcome.
I'd like to
I
thank
thank you for listening to the call of your ancestors. Yeah, both of you for that.
I would like to say one thing before we sign off.
Oh,
I
this
may
is
have a
good.
bit of a problem with one thing here. I don't have I have
Okay, what's that?
I have one article of clothing that's white.
That's your challenge.
Yeah.
That is your challenge. Here's what I would say to that, right? When you're doing your prayers, I've wrapped myself in a sheet. Okay. I've wrapped
Mm,
myself in a sheet.
okay.
If I'm in the house, I've cut up a pillowcase. Okay. Just to have on white. Um, yeah. So
Okay.
it doesn't have to be anything brand new in the store. And honestly, it can be a designated outfit that you take a shower and put on when you're about to pray. And then you take it off after you pray. So it could be one outfit.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
But you should try to attract and be more in white. And then in the flip side, until you get there, I would say stay away from black and red.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, it's all right. Yep, I would say stay away from black and red. And until we can get more white, I would say definitely no black on your head or above the waist. If you definitely not above the waist and on your head.
All right.
But if you can eliminate black and red altogether, great. But if not, definitely not on the head and above the waist.
Oh, I can eliminate it. It's not that precious to me.
You know, I like that attitude because I tell you, in this work, sometimes people are attached, and it's the attachments that keep them from growth. Right. So I appreciate that attitude because that flexibility will help move you into new spaces, right? Higher levels because you're not attached to staying where you are.
Exactly. Yes.
Good. All right. Well, with that being said, ladies, I'm gonna bid you farewell, and we'll talk again next Sunday. Be well.
Be well, ladies. Thank you.
Be well.